Jace Tunnell here with the Mission Aransas Reserve at the University of Texas Marine Science Institute. And so for today's edition of Beachcombing, I'm here in Port Aransas on Mustang Island, and walked up on Kemp's Ridley turtle path. And so I'm going to turn the video around so that you can see it. And then I'll walk up, and they're trying to find the nest so they can take the eggs out. And then I'll tell you a little bit about that too. And so let me turn it around. So if you ever see something like this, let me get it. It's where you look this way. Can you see those tracks? And if you follow those tracks all the way up, it goes to where they're trying to dig up and find the nest. So let's walk up there. Now, Kemp's Ridley is interesting. It's one of the most endangered or it might be the most endangered species of sea turtle in the world. But they nest during the day, which is different than the other species. They nest at nighttime. So somebody called the Amos Rehabilitation Keep, and the folks were able to come up here and try to find the turtle. Then they tag it, and then they release the turtle. Then they come up to the nest and they dig all the eggs out. And typically there's in between 80 to 120 eggs that they take out. And this is Lee Harrison, and she's digging around. They found the nest, and they'll be taking them out here shortly. So let's walk over here and see some of the supplies that they're getting out. Now, Lee works for the Friends of the Ark.
Hey, Jace.
How's it going? All right. So these are the boxes that they're going to put the eggs in. Has a temperature gauge in there and everything. So this will keep the eggs safe, so where they won't bounce around. They get taken to the Padre Island National Seashore, where Dr. Donna Shaver's group puts them in an incubation type area where they can monitor the temperature and make sure that they hatch successfully. Then once they hatch, they take them down to the beach.
Not too wet, not too dry.
And they release them. And so some of y'all have probably been to the releases before. Then we also have here there's paperwork and everything that goes along with all the different nests and stuff that are found, that tells where they're at, how many eggs there are, anything about the turtles. So now they're packing in sand. Tim's an expert, so.
That one's
And here's Alicia Walker, who runs the Ark.
Hi.
This is the beach combing for the
oh, cool. This will be a
Monday.
good beach combing. What's happening on the beach today?
Yeah.
Daddy, can we see the turtle?
Wait till they start pulling the eggs out.
Yeah, you can look out.
Yeah.
Get a little closer.
I'm trying to think, like, do I have anything y'all can make a box out of?
That thing has like a temperature gauge and stuff.
Yeah. Put it here. Let's work on getting the turtle monitors.
So you can see there's the nest hole. They drop a line in there so that they're able to make sure they can find the nest.
I don't always like it above me because you're moving like big amounts. You know, I like it kind of side, but
Now, some of the reasons why they take the eggs out and they don't leave them in here is because of predation is the main thing. So you think about coyotes, you think about raccoons, and then even fire ants can be bad. And then also, you see how close we are to the water here. Here, try to get on this side so that sand isn't getting on everybody. So you see how close we are to the water. It's pretty often we get tides high enough to where they come all the way up to the dunes. And so you can see where this one nested here, it would be easy for the water to get on it. And so the moisture content of the sand is also can be a reason why a nest isn't successful. And so by taking the nest out, taking them to a place that they can monitor the temperature, which the temperature determines the sex of the animal, of the turtle. So the hotter temperatures is the females, and then the cooler are the males. And so this all helps in the success of restoring the species. Now the other thing they do here in Port Aransas and on most beaches that have tourism on them is they scrape the beach, and so this would have been right in line with where the beaches are scraped. And we drive on the beach in Texas anyway, and in some other states have that same thing. So that's another reason to be able to not leave these in the ground but take them out. Now whenever there's enough of these Kemp's Ridley turtles that are nesting in a year, it won't be an option to be able to take all the turtles out. If you look down in Mexico where the Kemp's Ridley nest, and they have these things called the arribadas where they have thousands of turtles going up and nesting in one day. It's not feasible to take all the nest out, but here in Texas, 200 to 300 nests per year is what nests in Texas on a good year. So that's doable. And so there's a lot of volunteers and folks that have committed their lives to protecting the species. And where these eggs are going with Dr. Donna Shaver, she's one of those that's been working for decades to protect the Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. And you've probably heard a lot about her and the National Seashores work. So now they're starting to dig slowly to see if they can get the first egg out, and it'll sort of look like a ping pong ball. So here the eggs are coming out. So as she's saying egg, somebody's able to mark it down.
Yes.
Egg.
Okay, so they'll end up doing this 80 to 120 times.
You can tell them that we put them in the box to mimic how the female turtle lays the egg, make it artificial.
So they're laying these in the box to mimic the way the female turtle lays the eggs.
So there's 6 in there.
So let's look in here.
Egg. Egg.
Okay. So Friends of the Ark are the ones that are kind of leading the charge on Mustang Island, and they're the volunteers that are going around every day making sure that if there is a nesting turtle,
And it gets bigger.
that
It's like a round beak.
they're able to find them, get the eggs, and take them to where they'll be successful. So this is what it looks like. Now, let me show you where the turtle left from. So right here is where the turtle came in, and then right here is where the turtle went out. And you know what? Turtles really like to come up on a windy day. You can probably hear all the wind. So they come up on windy days, and why do you think they would do that? Look at the way the sand is moving across the beach right now, because their tracks are covered up really fast. So, you know, I remember I was talking about predators. So predators might be able to follow those tracks, might be able to sniff it out to be able to find where the eggs are. But with the sand, it's covering up. It's really covering up all the tracks and everything. So yeah, it's windy today, but they like big surf, really windy days, and so now you know everything about a Kemp's. And so if you have any questions about Kemp's Ridley, put it in the comments and we'll be sure to answer it. If you have any other ideas for any other type of videos, please let us know, and we'll try to get those on film as well. All right, for now, peace out. Jace Tunnell here for Beachcombing. Today I'm on North Padre Island and probably about, I don't know, 4 miles south of Ball Paul Pier area. And today there are a lot of birds on the beach, and the tide's really high, so there's a few people, but not really a whole lot of people. But there's some laughing gulls, and then a lot of what we're seeing are these sanderlings, and so they're getting ready to make their way up to the Arctic, and so they're out here feeding on all this stuff to bulk up so that they have enough energy to get up there. Once they're up there, they lay eggs, hatch, and have their young do the whole thing all over again, and then head back down to South America. So back and forth, real cool. Now, something that looks real cool that I just walked up on is this float, and you wouldn't know it was a float because of all the stuff growing on it. So I'll talk to you a little bit about this stuff. But these here are gooseneck barnacles, and check this out. They're coming out. Ooh, I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, now there's a lot of other stuff that's living on here as well. So let's see. Okay, here's some red algae. You can really see it once it gets wet. Red algae. Let's see, some acorn barnacles that are growing on the gooseneck barnacles. And look, he's actually trying to come out of there. You see him right there? Now that's cool. What else we got here? Oh, whip coral. So a lot of people think that this is just rope that somebody threw away, and you'll find this stuff at the high tide line and it looks like trash, but it's actually a coral. It's a soft coral. Look at that. Very neat. And some other algae in there. Oh, and then y'all have seen this before, and actually there's been predictions that I just saw that came out this week about sargassum, which is a brown algae that grows in huge mats. But the last few years has been real bad down in the Caribbean. Around, you've probably seen pictures in Cancun and stuff like that. But this stuff is actually really good. It makes like a habitat out in the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean, Atlantic, where it grows. But this year it's supposed to be a moderate year for this stuff coming in, and I'm actually going to do one of these episodes where I'll go out and I'll get a bucket and then shake this stuff, and you'd be amazed at the stuff that we find growing around, living around this, like nudibranchs and shrimp and crabs, all kinds of cool stuff. Oh, look at here. Okay, so this is an Atlantic winged oyster growing on all this. And it's got a little barnacle growing on it as well. Now, you want to know why they call this the gooseneck barnacle? Check that out. Now, here in a couple days, this thing might be a little ripe. But that's pretty neat. So the sun is, the sun's going down right now. Maybe that's why all the crazies are out here, including me. Now let's look here. Let's see if I can shake this and find something that comes out of it. It might have been here too long. But sometimes you can shake this, especially if it's in the water. That's when you find the shrimps and crabs and all kinds of stuff. So this might have been sitting out here too long. But what I'll do, a lot of birds are feeding on this stuff. But what I'll do the next time I come out, I'll get a bucket, I'll go out in the water and I'll grab some of that stuff and shake it out, and that'd be real cool. Now, somebody at one point asked me to talk about some of the birds on the beach. I already mentioned some of them that were around here. You see these ones here, and I don't know if you can tell, let's see how close I can get, but they have orange legs. Those are ruddy turnstones. Let's see. I don't want to scare them up too much, but I'm just trying to get a little closer so you can see. A lot of laughing gulls. You know, I love the laughing gulls. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for this one. Thanks for beachcombing with me. If there's anything that y'all want me to look at, type it in the comments and I'll see if I can get it to you. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye. Jace Tunnell here, doing beachcombing for today. But I thought maybe y'all'd like to see, you know, some people, especially not in Texas or Louisiana or certain parts of Florida, even certain parts of Mississippi, you can drive on the beach, but those that can't drive on the beach, you might want to see what it looks like. Okay. It's this particular area, they don't grade it that often, and the tide is really high, and so you got some people walking the beach, and then usually there's a lot less people on the beach during these times because you gotta have four-wheel drive pretty much to get around here. Now look at the little birdies. I always go slow by these. Those are little sandpipers, and they're here temporarily feeding on the high tide line, different animals and stuff like that, and then they're going all the way up to the Arctic. And then if you look far enough up there, there's actually a pier, and that's Bob Hall Pier. We're on North Padre Island. And I try to avoid the saltwater like crazy. So I will not drive my vehicle in saltwater. I've done that in the past. And I'll tell you what, if you drive your car in the saltwater, you need to sell it within 2 weeks. Because the brakes start locking up, stuff starts rusting out, you got holes in your floorboard. It really hurts the resale value. Okay. Well, I know y'all really probably like me to be walking around better than just driving on the beach, but I thought it'd be an interesting experience so you could see. This is, if I'm not walking to the beach, I usually, if I'm going further down the beach, I got to drive, and so this is how we do it. And look at all the birds coming up here. Oh man, those there's some a few laughing gulls, but the majority of these are sanderlings. Look at them all. Ooh, that's cool. They're eating everything up down there, trying to bulk up so they can make it to the Arctic. Hey, that's pretty cool. And then look at all these brown pelicans coming in. Ooh, awesome. Okay, that's the adventure for today. See you later. Hey, put in the comments if y'all want to see something else. You say, I don't like you driving on the beach, or hey, show me something else. I don't know, whatever y'all want to see, I'll try to get it to you. Type it in the comments. Thanks.